One. Yes. Well, Infernal Shrines. So game 4. Which is Ballistix on the match point. This one. We have seen the previous yesterday. I don't think it's the case. Maybe Ballistix, if they were trying to do something flashy, I don't think they should do it tonight. They should definitely just finish it up with what they are doing right now.
I like the Medivh, the Diablo, the play that we saw, going into Battlefield of Eternity. That sort of Ana play, I don't want to see any continuation of. It just doesn't suit this map. There's too many things to interrupt. There's too many ways to stop your bio grenades from actually questing. And the reason why that is so good on BOE, I think, is because you have such a large space to work with that Ana can really have a lot of room to set up fights with the Medivh portals. Not so much on this map. And Wiz got a smile on his face. You know, he's thinking about that Sonya, but previous set we saw the Maiev ban. I'm cool with Maiev ban, but they're going to ban Medivh if you do that. Maybe you ban the Genji. Tease that you want the Medivh over the Maiev. Got a strategy prepared for that. That's how you get the Medivh if you want it. I know BlossoM wants it, but now that Ballistix is just unwilling to play against it, it's so difficult to trick a ban into allowing you to have that. They do go down the Genji route as I suggested, but
totally destroys the Avatar if Ballistix was even considering that happening. I don't think it was the case for this map, but still.
They still just ban the Medivh.
Maiev open?
Maiev is open. They will get
pick.
it.
I feel like Ballistix will just counter it just like KSV did. Mouth Tracer. Maybe not the Mouth, but Tracer does seem like a pretty good one. Has a recall, can always move into the bind, never get pulled into it.
Let's see. It's difficult to use Tracer on this map because of the way the Shrine works. I'm going to prefer the Sonya. At least for now. Do they want to go for the Junkrat here? Is the big question, because we've seen a huge movement away from the Junkrat in this Maiev comp, but it's so good for this map.
Yes, so good. Just poking, and do some damage, pick up the defenders. Also great for the cam control. You have a lot of walls to go. Pass with the mine. Of course, we cannot forget about the Riptire synergy with Maiev.
Dudu's laughing and smiling. Which means I believe he's thinking about that. He's thinking about that Tracer still.
Who's going to play Maiev? I'm guessing Modern?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was the last person to play it for BlossoM. So big shoes to fill. Not big shoes to fill, but it's a tough hero to maximize for a flex player, but I think in this lineup, he has to be the one. Tracer does get locked in with a Garrosh, though, not the Tyrael. So they're looking for the taunt combo. This comp already lacks a lot of synergy, I think. They're removing the Stukov like, This means I think there has to be a Tyrael ban. Because you remove the Stukov, then if they get Tyrael, then you're just going to have a bad time. He's just going to sank every combo you're trying to set up.
We'll actually give the ground to Ballistix right in the circle. No taunts, no cage. Even if that happens, Sanctification basically cancels everything. It's a pretty good ban. You already have Sonya. What else can you have against that Tracer? We saw Tutu, very threatening against the back line. Let's go back. Last time they were at Tyrael, not anymore. Falstad was one of the tools they used to disengage.
Garrosh, Tyrael, and Tyrael were the three tanks that we saw Ballistix play. Garrosh and Tyrael both removed now. Gonna have to see some flexibility here. Junkrat is taken, and then Johanna, the blind. Johanna's blind will also prevent Maiev from connecting her Umbral bind to a hero. So her auto attack will not connect. So it can be quite strong against that. already very difficult to get into range of a Junkrat with the Maiev. So he's just going to mine you away.
Might as well use the most before the Tracer changes. Also bringing Tracer once again, but which support is it going to be? Rhaegar seemed like an okay one, but once you dive in, you may be the one dead. You may be thrown with the mine to the other side alone, isolated. Tracer has that recall, but Rhaegar, once he dives in with the Z, he can't go back. Alexstrasza for the first time in 2018 Korea.
Well,
they're really looking for that shrine fight.
They also really want to like break the meta on every single draft they're bringing in today.
Mm-hmm. Anna, and then now
we saw Alexstrasza actually in Eastern Clash. I believe it was played by Lolly Meow, but it didn't work, obviously. But it was used on this map, and you could see some of the impact that it could potentially have. Very similar to Ragnaros. Pop out the Dragon Queen, secure the last shots onto the shrine, and you know it works in that similar way, right? You secure the last defenders, you win the Punisher, but you have to be ahead in order to make that happen. To get ahead, you need to get positional control. To get positional control, you usually need a strong frontliner, bruiser top laner like Sonya, which is on the other side. Leoric just is not going to give that same amount of control, so getting into position on the shrines to make sure that Alexstrasza can give you that value is going to be difficult. Someone please unstretch her face. I know she's not meta, but when she does get picked, she looks better than this. Alexstrasza deserves better. Look, Kel'Thuzad and Alexstrasza, they never update the portraits because they're like, no one plays them, they're not meta. I'm like, yeah, but like, what if they do get locked in?
Hey, she's the queen. Come on, she deserves it. She looks so squishy.
She looks so...
in that small box.
Oh god, she's so scrunched. Oh, that's not the right aspect ratio. No. T-Tours, man.
And rip that dream, but I actually like this pick. They have lots of tanky heroes. They can receive lots of heals on that circle. And they should be the ones staying in that circle. Except for the Tracer, of course. Maybe a little bit hard to get all the heals for Tracer. But always can queue in, sacrifice her own health to queue in Tracer. That's also pretty bursty. So I do follow the line of thinking of Nasang.
Well, it's crazy like what you could do with a Garrosh if you go for the life bind. But
that's also another one.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, the flame to synergize with all the heroics that they have.
Yeah,
I think it's a better one.
If you're really trying to use that as why you picked Alexstrasza, then like whoever made that decision to draft, we need to have a talk.
Then why not just Rhaegar with the Ancestral?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's cool though for Garrosh in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's not going to be that.
In terms of sustain, Alexstrasza is not the best.
Yeah,
somewhat okay because you have double tank, but you have to really put that circle in the perfect spot and know the flow of the team fight. What's going to happen in the next few seconds?
You have to pre-place your heals. It gets obviously a little bit stronger once you finish your quest at level 1. And it even gives you regen gloves, like later. If you win the shrines, you get 2 bonus globes. So there's a lot of ways to make this quest work. Going into the complete build, going to Surge of Vitality on 4 to give the extra movement speed. But you still have to pre-place it, you still have to make sure it connects. Another thing about Alexstrasza, she's got really good wave clear for a support, like Rhaegar. Not good at camping, but very good at pushing waves for really strong mana efficiency. And also poke. She has poke on the front line. with spell power, so Johanna's blinds are not really going to affect how much damage she can put off. It's just some things to keep in mind.
I think we're gonna see something crazy again from Nasang. He has been very off the meta support heroes tonight, picking Ana and Alexstrasza now. I think that's about everything that we covered about Alexstrasza, since she's basically never seen in Korea.
Yeah.
Of course, she's going for that circle build.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how this first shrine goes. BlossoM does
Ooh,
take
SCSC
control.
no escape.
Gets caught. But now BlossoM takes control of the shrine. So, if they need to use the Dragon Queen, it's going to basically be secured. They might not even need to, because they already have such great control. Short death timer, though, on Hanzo. He'll be back up in just a few seconds. And yeah, look at Nasong's wave clear as he just pushes through. Mine does not knock him the way he wanted it to knock him, so ends up being fine. Dudu's just going to split soak here versus the Sonya. And they don't even force the Dragon Queen, doesn't look like here. 5 left to go. Ballistix doesn't actually accomplish anything. They were a little bit hesitant. Very unlike Ballistix to kind of choke in a moment like this.
Not even needed, and you can actually empower the push a lot more. I think this is a better time to use it now. There we go, the Queen. Actually does a ton of damage.
It does do a lot of damage, especially the structures. It's hard to hit heroes with it because it has like such a long, I guess a short attack speed.
Yeah, in a way, it's like a Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
CSC pulled by the bind once again and burst damage.
This
Tracer
Maiev,
and Leoric is not even here.
This Maiev is so annoying to deal with. Gondor's got a lot of armor, but Modern just does not have the ability to, or sorry, Nasang does not have the ability to heal him.
They got the wall. Tracer was getting soaked in mid even.
Yep, they are getting bought as well, so they take a whole level lead throughout this.
Ooh, Hanzo overextending a little bit too much in this fourth game.
I just feel like Ballistix is frustrated. They allowed the Maiev through, and then, you know, they felt like they had a comp that could deal with it well when they took Junkrat on their side. They had the Sonya pick. Then they picked Alexstrasza, and I feel like Ballistix was a little bit humiliated at how much control that Alexstrasza gave on that shrine and how BlossoM was able to get that first kill. Given a normal circumstance, Ballistix would have forced the Dragon Queen early, and this would have been a totally different story, but because they lost Hanzo, SC is definitely kind of shooting himself in the foot by that mispositioning mistake. As long as they can recover and continue to soak with Sonya, I was even taking the bottom camp right now, they will be able to keep a pretty competitive 10. They're going to be about half a level behind. And then we can have a more competitive game. But as it is right now, BlossoM with a pretty nice lead.
And it was a 5th pick Hanzo. I feel like there were many other heroes that could fit the place. But it was going to be kind of weird with the Junkrat also in the team. SD could, of course, flex into Tychus, but that means that SCSC would be on a different role, so to say.
Sure.
Off his most comfortable hero. Not to say comfortable hero, of course he has a wide hero pool, but he has not been playing anything other than Genji and Hanzo for a long time.
Well, it is going to, of course, be the level 10 that gives you the range, the Cleansing Flame. Not going to be the Life Bind, as cool as that would be. It's just not, they picked her for a reason, right? She has 2 ways now to secure the last defenders. And she can have basic invulnerability while providing massive sustain to the Garrosh, who will very likely live almost forever in every team fight.
Damage and heal at the same time. Seems like the best option.
The annoying concern is that Riptire is on the board now, and that can mess up some of the stuff they're trying to do with the prison. And the the fact that Alexstrasza just doesn't really have escapes. Like, she could die to a stun into a big Riptire. Bottom shrine, look at the control of the map. BlossoM is going to be able to get there first. Ballistix needs to rotate quickly, but they can't because of the camp they're taking right now. And they're dealing with the top camp of BlossoM, so BlossoM is going to have that positional advantage you always want to have with Alexstrasza on this map, but they're going to get it.
I think Modern needs a perfect bolt during the team fight. There's the burst damage onto Gondar, already down to 30% health. Modern dives in. Already evolved to use, so has to pop that prison as an escape tool.
Okay, but they had the Dragon Queen used early, now popping into the Cleansing Flame. A lot of damage coming through. NaSong still trying to wing buffet his way through this, but Gondor gets blown up from the burst. This is not looking good for Ballistix.
This is so low, he can't go in. And BlossoM basically lost that control after Maiev went in, actually, to engage into the fight. Knew that was a mistake, had to use the vault right after, which was not needed at the moment. Yeah, and had to pop that prison. So after that moment, everything was destroyed, what BlossoM was trying to do in this Shrine fight.
I feel like also NaSong was a little bit hyperactive on the Dragon Queen there. He went from his Dragon Queen right into the Cleansing Flame without really a pause, and I think it was a little bit too quick to pull the trigger on those.
Of course, as Maiev, you always have that feeling that you have to make a hard initiate with the prison going in, just having everyone in the bind. But in this case, was none of his teammates were around him. It was never a possibility to actually synergize with what you're trying to do. Modern realized that way too late after engaging in by himself.
Well, let's see if can redeem himself. Pulse Bomb even used here. Desperation now for BlossoM to keep this keep alive. Rotating in with the Blessed Shield into the Condemn. That's going to be a dead Tracer. Double stun.
So much damage from Hanzo. This may actually be more than a keep. Leoric's not even here.
This was without Riptire. Still available. It's an Arcane Punisher, so this keep is taking a ton of damage. So you can understand the usage of the Pulse Bomb there to try to push that Punisher back. They're not done yet. They're waiting for the next minion wave. Poke and more poke coming out from Hanzo. Alexstrasza does get home, so NaSong can come back with full health, but in his absence, it looks like this keep is most certainly going down. Gondar may go down with it, does get the heal here.
Was very low, will be healed again from the circle. Engaging in after 13. They have some tools in Tomb, but not really the damage follow-up. Here's that bind. Okay. Here's that wombo combo, but Riptire!
Riptire shutting it down again. This Junkrat pick is so strong against this composition. Modern gets taken out. That's triple kills on the side of Ballistix. Now we're going to see NaSong get trapped. The Alexstrasza pick did not work like the Ana pick did for him earlier today. We had a bit of a premature GG. BlossoM was able to come back in that second game, but in this game, doesn't look to be the case. The Orc will respawn here. Wiz is going to do what he can. Pulse Bomb being held by Dudu right now, but he's just not going to be able to do enough damage. Respawn's coming through here for Garrosh Juice. 70% on the core. SD gets pulsed. He survives though. Concusses away. And it looks like this just might be the beginning of the end here. Ice Block for Magi trying to buy time, but the core down to 15% now. Hooligan! Hooligan! He goes down 12%. Did they do it again?
Can they do it again? Last time it was 7%. This time, they have something else. This is not the same. It is not BOE, not 2-lane.
It's 5% more G-Clef than last time.
I know, but it's this 3-lane map. And they lost the keep under 10 minutes. It's a different story here, Wolf. And Ballistix, they also have so much more backdoor potential with the Junkrat.
Did no one tell me Kalaris was visiting with these cores
Well, where is he?
Where is he indeed?
Where's the curse?
Well, it's right there, the top right of your screen, right under Leoric's talents, man. 12%. Kalaris cores are a little bit, you know, a little bit closer, usually around 2%. So maybe he's like in the Philippines or something nearby, but like not actually here in Korea. They live. There's backdoor potential on this three-lane map, as you say. This is a hyper early keep. Like we're talking, that keep went down around like 10:30 or 10 minutes. So these catapults are going to be affecting the game for much longer. Level 16 apiece though. BlossoM getting those kills.
And BlossoM has, of course, top fort pretty damaged, but still has all the other forts. Other than the bottom lane, here's the engage. Modern goes in with pops that cage. Has some CC, but Riptire comes and destroys everything that they're trying to do. Gets a kill onto Sonya.
Okay, it does mess up the formation, but this Cleansing Flame is doing a lot here. So much healing. They need to survive through this. Double heals on the ground here for Alexstrasza, healing up everybody on the side of BlossoM. Hooligan's eating a lot of damage. NaSong on the chase here. They are going to get this fort. They don't get anything else. But they will have control of the shrine yet again, and that is the most important thing. Again, with these Alexstrasza comps, you need to have control so that you can win the initial trades on the defenders, because Alexstrasza comps are usually not poke-based. They're usually comps that are good with heroes like Tracer, like Maiev, that need to be in close.
The amount of healing from Alexstrasza was insane. They were very low, but healed back in matter of seconds there.
It's the full shabam on the...
And the quest completed too. So Nasang getting a lot more done from the circle.
It's abundance, that the build that she's going for here, and even going into shield at 16. Now that they've taken control, she would like to Dragon Queen, but she already used it.
Engages in, Riptire in 10. Cage not available for 25, so they need a lot of more time. BlossoM is, but gets the Punisher. Ballistix wants something else done here.
Double shield, Wiz super low. They grab the Punisher. Ballistix doesn't get any kills. And now they can actually re-engage. 15 seconds until Cleansing Flame is ready. BlossoM making these support picks work, man. I don't know what is happening.
They are coming back into the game.
I think Ballistix is choking hard. They got the early game taken from them. They were clearly flabbergasted by the pick. Made some mistakes. Won the rest of the team fights. Looked for a core call.
Dude, they're looking for the snipe. Close.
This could be a keep. Trade a keep for a keep. We're going to see a big engage here now. Riptire is going to be the tool. Hooligan has to Iron Skin. He's pulling his way. Here's that Riptire. Hits everybody, but it's just not enough damage to kill Dudu. Big arrow, though. Linked into the Condemn. Tether. Not going to save anybody here. Leoric does go down. Nasang might follow suit. Arrow not connecting on top of him. Dudu actually goes for the hearth here. Nasang just trying to survive. Shield comes in. He gets the shield from the healing on the ground. Modern gets away. Well, Nasang will not be so lucky. And with 2 dead here, I have to imagine Ballistix can go for the core.
And they will. And can Gondor actually... No way, there's no escape.
Even if he lives, I don't know if it matters.
And Modern actually dove in. I think Ballistix, instead of chasing, they chose both targets at the same time, chasing 2 rabbits. And now...
If both of the rabbits escaped, maybe, you know, they buy a lot of time, but...
BlossoM knows that the game is over already.
Yeah, they're just trying to buy time, they're trying to delay. I don't think it's going to happen. 7% is, you know... They were able to make that happen by controlling the map the entire time. 12% is only 5 more, and they lost a team fight right afterwards. They were able to keep the momentum going for the entire rest of the game on BOE. Not to be the case here. Tranquility used just to secure it. Riptire for fun, and Ballistix will end up taking the series 3-1. But what an interesting series it was.
Every time BlossoM plays, makes it a very great series. Lots of unexpected picks, especially Nasang today with Hannah and Alexstrasza. Once that quest finished, of course it took a long time. It seemed like they were coming back. Actually came back into the game and won in BOE Game 2. Not the same for Game 4. It is not the same type of battleground. And they were oftentimes chased, always dismounted by the scatter arrow. Hanzo, of course, did not have the best game number 4 at the beginning.
Alexstrasza with more healing than Malfurion as well. That Dragon Queen in the mid lane did a ton of healing, plus the shield she got post level 16 for her her circle of healing. I don't know the name of that ability. I looked it up
Abundance?
earlier. Abundance, yeah. That's the one. Well, first time Alexstrasza in Korea in Korean Heroes history. Those end up with a 0-1 record at the end of the day. Ana, though, the opposite side of things. Let's see if Nasang continue to bring new and fresh supports. BlossoM was the team that always went for weird picks, unusual new metas. But that was when Nasang was on Mighty, and he wasn't even part of the roster. Now he's like the forefront of BlossoM's meta changing.
It was
picks.
usually Wiz playing something else, and if they had something crazy like Ariel Chogal once, and did work of course, but now Nasang's doing. Really fitting into the team, leading this role. What's next? Lily?
Please no. No. Maybe Morales though.
Possible.
Could be.
We have a lot of brackets open actually in many matches because we have lots of bans sniped, especially for Sky Temple and Volskaya, and sometimes Dragonshire even Spider also. So brackets is oftentimes open. They can prepare a strategy against it. I think it's really possible. We're talking about BlossoM here.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a possibility. Who's your MVP today, G-Clef?
Lily. No, not Lily. Nasang.
Nasang didn't win G-Club. He can't be selected for MVP.
But he's my favorite. He's my personal one for tonight's match. I
Yeah,
think he really
mean,
showed
same.
what the other supports could do. Still not in the meta, but great supports. He was supporting them so well. But of course, we have to choose from Ballistix. I will still. Okay, not SCSC today. He was not. He was not having his day with his Hanzo and other heroes. Hooligan.
Yeah, I think it's Hooligan for me too. His Arthas play was really good. Or sorry, not his Arthas play. His Tyrael play in that game with the Arthas.
Yes.
The Sanks were really good overall on the Cursed Hollow game.
Really good Holy Grounds.
Yeah, Holy Grounds too. We haven't heard from this guy in a while. Eastern Clash back-to-back champion. He joined the roster that led them to those 2 titles. So, you know, I'm into it. I want to hear from Hooligan.
Yeah, Hooligan, a funny guy overall. And when I took a trip to HQ with Wiz and Hooligan, it was really fun. He was kind of a weird one, saying whatever he wants to do all the time. Like you could tell from the first Eastern Clash, he was dropping all the bits. He was one of the real Hooligan there. But second one, he was calmed down, just calming himself down, keeping things together. But because Ballistix did not get a 3-0 against BlossoM, they will actually not move up to the first place.
That's right. So Tempest will hold that one for now. That's I was so hyped by the Ana pick that that totally left my mind. That was actually a really hype moment and an important moment for Tempest fans. But yeah, 3-1 scoreline means they'll just get the good old +2 and another 3-1 on their score marks. We're gonna take a look at some highlights in a minute, but it's been a great week of HGC Korea.
I think
like
possibly the best day of matchup. Both matchups actually not too one-sided. Great team fights, some unusual picks and strategies. I enjoyed this night very well.
Yeah, I mean, in Korea, their big 3 matchups are always exciting. Ballistix, Tempest, Tempest, Ballistix.
Those each other.
Ballistix, KSB Black, and etc. All those 3 matches. And I think that's what most people tune in to watch Korea for. And I'll be honest with you guys, most of the time outside of those matches, we have a lot of one-sided matchups. Because in 2017, it was 1 is better than 2, 2 is better than 3, 3 is better than 4, 4 is better than 5, 5 is better than 6, 6 better than 7, 7 is better than 8. Like there was a
8 better than
was
Open
a clear
Division.
laddered,
Open Division better than us.
Yeah. It was. Wow, you had to bring that up. So there was a clear laddered tiering system in HGC in 2017 for Korea. This year, anything goes. Like we've seen a lot of upsets. The bottom teams have taken games off of the big 3, and this region, I feel like, has really become a lot more interesting to watch. And that's saying a lot, because even though Korea has won so many world championships, and with the exception of mid-season brawl, pretty much dominated every tournament that happened internationally.
I think it's partially because not only all the Korean teams are rising up in level in their play with experience with the strategy, it's also because we have a lot more heroes in Nexus.
Yeah.
We could actually counter with specific picks here.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, even though we had those 3, you know, the top 3 teams win international championships, the rest of the region was never up to par. And those 2 teams always dominated. And now the fact that we're seeing Ballistix lose games to BlossoM, we're seeing Tempest lose multiple games to Gluck, for example, shows that the level of play in the region overall, and the picks and stuff like you were talking about with the new hero pools, are also really risen up right now. Well, watch Ana. Oh my god.
No healing coming out with the Bionic Grenade, and Garrosh dies instantly. Well, that game was one of the most memorable games I will always remember. And Towers of Doom. I think this is something else that Ballistix really has it down now. Avatar Genji. Can always happen in any of the maps too.
Yeah. I think they worked on that this week. That's why they avoided using the Hanzo a lot. So that was what they wanted to show against Ace. They were theory crafting more than anything yesterday, but today they honed it, perfected it. So I don't think Avatar or Genji will be changed anytime soon. So that's always a card they've got up their sleeve. It's our final game, the Alexstrasza game. This is when Nasang went super early here. Dragon's getting knocked around.
Also after the mistake of Modern diving in alone.
Yeah.
So it was really hard. They lost the biggest tool, and also a great snipe from Hanzo along far away.
Save the core at 12% again. Oh god, this was the arrow into the concussive, or sorry, the condemn. Blessed shields up in 5, and then they turn that into another combo. So this time it was not the comeback, just the core surviving. Riptire doing massive damage here, and we're going to jump to our interview with our MVP, SDE. So, G-Clef, take it away.
Hello, why don't we have an introduction? Hello, I'm Flex from Ballistix, SDE, Hyuntae Kim. We have some points that we want to point out today. First, Anna. And the last one, you had the core call, you missed the first one in the BOE. Also the last one with 12%. How was the core call? What was happening at the moment? I actually personally did not know that the catapults were on the core. I think he's talking about BOE. And we were really trying to go, but we failed to do so. And also in Inferno Shrines, I think I made a mistake. If I died next to the core, I think I could have done some more damage with the Junkrat passive. I don't think that was possible. Still 12% left. So it's all my fault. But still, you guys won that game. But overall, all games was really tough against BlossoM. We always knew that really good. They're really good. They're really good at scrims. But their amount of practice never really showed too much. But they're one of the best teams with Medivh. Modern's really good at Medivh. And today he was really shining with that kind of play.
사실 처음부터 메디브를 배나는 건 아니잖아요. 한번 뭐 좀 맛을 본 건가요? 네.
And after you guys did not ban Medivh until you lost the game. Was that intended? Yes, we felt that pain. We really tasted what Medivh tastes like, and then we started that Medivh ban right after.
Does not taste like chicken, by the way.
That's Raven. I don't think Medivh is the best pick, but after watching the other teams using Medivh, I think it's also a good pick.
굉장히 좀 무난하다. 그리고 뭐 이스턴 클래시 이후에도 큰 변화 없이 아직도 비슷한 그런 뱀픽을 계속 고수하고 있는데.
And after Eastern Clash, you guys are keeping the similar type of ban picks.
블라썸의 그런 깜짝 픽들.
After watching all the BlossoMs, what they have,
이런 픽들을 보면서 발리스틱스는 좀 어떤 생각을 하나요?
what they have prepared for tonight's match, some surprise picks. What are you guys thinking about those strategy?
정말 재밌네요.
We have nothing else. We are just doing what we are good at. During our scrims, we actually use crazy heroes that you can never think of. You can never imagine. Can you show us an example? Give us an example? No, I can't. It's a secret. I think he's talking about Lily. How about SESC? Do you think he's funny at all? That's always a question on Ballistix. And SE answered that SESC is not funny. Our team, we always have lots of confidence. And last year, our result was not the best. And right now, we are leading from Eastern Clash, so I think we want to continue this momentum. You guys are continuing the momentum. Do you think there's any team that can actually stop you from this one? Well, BlossoM, of course, after tonight's match, that's past, but KSB, I think they're really strong. I think we have that match coming up later, and we will prepare super hard for that matchup. Did you know that if you won 3-0 tonight, you guys actually move into first place? Yes, yes, we did. Did you have that in mind when you went into the game? Of course, we
지금
kind of
하이라이트가
had
제일
that
중요한
in
게
mind.
블랙을 이기는 거예요, 결국은.
But
아, 그렇죠.
네, 결국엔 블랙을
that's
이겨야
important,
되는
but
거라서 뭐한 판씩
winning
이기는 거
against
말고는
black
뭐
is what
그런
we
신경 안
are putting on top. So that's the main focus for now. And that's the game that we're really focusing on.
네.
오늘 뭐 현장에도 와주셨지만
Of course, SCE,
많은 팬도 있고
you have lots of
개인 방송도 굉장히
subscribers
열심히
from your
하시잖아요.
personal stream
방송
also.
한번 홍보 시원하게 한번 하시라고.
He
You wanna
actually brings
just-
the most viewers to
진짜
the stadium
모든
of
지금
any player at
시청하고
the
있는 모든
moment.
팬들이 올 수
Do
있게.
you want to give a shout out?
내 방송은 이런 방송이다.
하면 오나요?
아 오죠.
Can I
네, 알겠습니다.
have a shout out?
한번 해보세요.
제가 스위치 TV
I'm on
S
Twitch.
O O N D O O N G E
SOONDONGE.
검색하세요. 그러고 들어오시면은
Look for
Yeah.
SDE,
진짜 좋은
Sundungi,
방송 보실 수 있고
and you can go
구독,
watch his
리모컨
stream.
인터뷰요.
And also, my emotes are pretty cute.
많은 사랑
Subscribe.
부탁드리면서
That's what he
오늘
means.
발리스틱스 순둥이 선수와 인터뷰 여기서 마무리하고요. 다음 경기 또 준비해 보도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
And that's the
So-
end of interview with SDE.
Very likely, if you guys go to the Korean stream after this, they'll probably host his stream. Or no, actually, obviously he won't be able to stream right afterwards because he's actually here. But the Korean stream does host a lot of the Korean pro gamer streams right after the broadcast. So if you
Yes.
ever want to follow or see like people's Twitch streams, check that out. So Tempest is still ahead by that one game because of the comparison score in the 29-7 to 28-7 and also the 3-0 standings. So it's a really close and competitive top four here. BlossoM taking that map win. So I'm at 6-4, 20 and 18. And things fall off from there. But BlossoM could win playoffs with how they played tonight. If they could tighten up some parts of their play, if they could actually improve their, I think, punish play more than anything else, and play a little bit more meta when it comes
Yes.
to playoffs, like they could stop one of the big three from going to Sweden. So here's our matches for
Oh man.
Friday. Pretty good ones. KSV Black versus BlossoM. That's a one to not to miss. And then Feliz versus Ace. That is going to be the battle of the bottom.
Indeed, the bottom. And of course, a lot more hype goes into match one. After what we saw from BlossoM tonight, what are they going to do in the next 4 days? They prepared this within the last 2 days. Of course, they were sniped with the midi oftentimes, so we couldn't really see this kind of strategy, but they were also able to bring out some crazy supports, also prepared against Ballistix, what they played last night. So they have more than enough time, also KSV Black, to prepare against each other. This is going to be a hype match. I do not expect a 3-0 at all for that match number one.
No, I think BlossoM could even take the whole series. with
I
how
think
they're playing right
BlossoM is actually threatening lots of sets off of the top three, which
Yeah.
makes it a lot more interesting. Like Ballistix, they had a chance to go up to first place, but they can't. Of course, the match later on is very important, but this is all going to come stacked together, and it may actually affect a lot for the top three teams.
Yeah, I really feel like the standings as well for last year, where we had Mighty threatening, they threatened a little bit,
Yes.
but like,
Not as close as
Not as
BlossoM
close.
right now, though.
but at the end, if you guys remember, it was Mighty versus Tempest for the seed spot there, and it was a really hype matchup for BlizzCon. Mighty was one game away from going to BlizzCon instead of Tempest, so we could end up in a similar situation there, where one of these teams drops down, and then if BlossoM gets to beat them potentially again, they can take that spot away. So it's going to be a pretty exciting playoffs once we do get there.
Yep, and talking about Tempest, for part one they seemed invincible, but ever since they went to Easter Clash, they were dropping down their form. They're not really perfecting their play. Seems like their strategy is not really fitting in too perfectly, and their role change also kind of not the best thing, I would say. I watched the replay of what they did, and seems like maybe it's better for them to actually go back to their own role. We'll see.
Could be, guys. That is going to be it for us tonight, though, and for this week of HGC Korea. We'll be back on Friday, so see you then.
Happy April Fools.